Have you ever met someone within minutes of basically getting to know you, speaking to you, they literally poured their heart out and you thought, okay, cute, but like literally what's going on? They told you about their exes, they told you about their past traumas, probably even shared little bits about, like their family, their childhood. And you kind of be thinking, maybe this was a bit too much in the first couple of times that we've met. You might have even thought, wow, you know what? They really trust me. If you have found that this has been a thing, you have walked into something called a trauma trap. The trauma trap dump, a tactic that most narcissists will use to paint themselves as a victim, for you to feel sorry for them and to create false intimacy. Why? Well, we're going to uncover why this actually happens. Watch this video. Hello, my friends. I hope that you're all doing really well. So in today's video, I really wanted to talk more about the trauma trap dump cycle, okay? And this is a method, or this is something that so many narcissistic, so many toxic people do to create this bond, okay? To create this bond. And it wasn't until I found a trend actually in my client work. And this was something that I was seeing quite a lot of, because clients were saying to me, oh my God, like I met this person and they turned out to be really toxic, turned out to like have like these narcissistic characteristics, or maybe they've had a friend, someone like that. But basically, I was seeing that this was happening kind of in a cycle. And I thought to myself, well, what actually is this? It wasn't until I researched this a little bit more in psychological journals. And this is what it was called, the trauma trap dump cycle. Now, I hadn't come across this. So basically, this is my own research. This is something that I've looked into, and it is a psychological term. Now, I'm going to talk about in this video why this actually happens and why certain people, why the certain people I'm talking about is narcissists here, why people like that would be using this tactic and what actually does it do. Okay, so let's talk about what the trauma dump actually is. Okay, so if you really think about it, right, you meet this person, it's like what I said in the intro, like you meet this person and they tell you such intimate things, like things that you shouldn't really be saying right at the beginning. It's really deeply personal, like really heavy content. Like you're not going to start talking about your childhood or your trauma that maybe you had experienced in childhood at the first couple of meetings. Like that's a bit weird. And probably those of you that have experienced this, that are watching this video, you probably thought that yourself, like, why is this person oversharing, giving me actually too much information? And and I think what also, this is quite challenging because this crosses the line. Like this has a lot of emotional weight. So it's emotional context that actually crosses boundaries, meaning that it's crossing the boundary because you yourself, all right, are having to listen to this, digest this information and know this information about this person, something that you didn't ask for, or something that the relationship or the connection isn't ready for. And this isn't healthy. This is the issue. It's kind of shocking. So I really want to look at why they do this. The trauma dump is part of a manipulation ploy. What this is ultimately creating is instant emotional bonding, okay? And the reason why is because when you listen to someone, okay, who is telling you or sharing really intimate, heavy, emotionally loaded information, you're going to feel a certain type of way. You're going to feel protective, empathetic. You're going to feel sorry for this person. And do you not think that that's the whole idea? Do you not think that this is exactly why they are doing it? They are doing it for you to feel those things, for you to feel sorry for them, for you to feel sad for them. Like, why has this happened? Like, and you might come across like thinking, like, how much bad luck can this person actually have? So this is the sympathy. But what's happening here is you're then bonding to that person. For example, they tell you about exes, that they've been so horrible to them, how they have lost so much money, friends, all of those things because they were with this person. You're going to feel protective. You're going to think like, oh, I really hope that I can satisfy this person, or I'm not going to be like that person's ex, or how horrible are some people. So you feel protective. You have a lot of empathy for this person. You know what? The key thing is here is that your guard goes down. And that's the thing. Your guard goes down. You then feel like you could reciprocate the information, like you feel like just because this person has shared something like really deep, maybe it's my turn. Maybe I need to do that. There's also even this whole thing of distraction. So they distract you, meaning, so you, again, you let your guard down. They distract you because you're focused on them. But what you're not seeing is actually the reason is why this person is actually doing this. Why are they telling you this information? It's not normal, not healthy. Also, the aspect of control. If they tell you something personal, you let your guard down. What they do is they then gain control over your emotions very quickly. Very quickly. And believe me, those of you that are thinking, maybe they didn't know that they were doing that. Maybe it was just by accident. No. They knew. And they know what they are doing. This isn't an accident. This is done on purpose. Also, the fact is that they're also testing you. They're testing you to see if you will feel sorry for them. They're testing you to see if you have any emotions for what they have told you, and also how you are going to react. How you react to something that is so emotionally loaded. What are you going to do? Because this gives them an indicator of how you actually are. Remember, they're studying you, they're watching you, they want to know exactly how you are feeling, what is going on for you. So my friends, this can look like someone just being vulnerable. So how do you know when someone is manipulating you, or when someone is actually genuinely showing you some sort of vulnerability, like they're wanting to open up and create a connection? Okay, so let's be clear. Vulnerability is really beautiful. It's a really lovely thing to have an open heart, to be able to talk, to share things that have happened, knowing that the other person is going to accept it and they're not going to judge you. That in itself is really beautiful. But narcissistic oversharing isn't about connection. It's about control. It's very much calculated, and there is a plan behind it. So you've got healthy vulnerability. Okay, that's all about, again, building connection. That's about slow. That's about it being mutual. So you don't feel like your boundaries are crossed. If a narcissist is doing it, it's fast, it's quick, it's in your face, it's even inappropriate. Actually, I would say it actually is really inappropriate. It's too fast, too soon. And you'll know because you're going to feel uncomfortable. When you're sharing something like this, it's mutual. The two of you want to share, the two of you want to connect. With a narcissist, it's quick, it's fast-paced, it's in your face. Also, the key factor here is it includes ownership. Okay, for a narcissist, it's all about blame. They did this to me. Look at this person. They cheated on me. They made me feel like I'm nothing. They took all my money. Why are they being like this to me? Okay, that's not, that you're not, what they're not saying is like they're part of the story. Well, why was someone like that to you? Why is it that maybe they did take some of your money? Probably because you did and you needed to owe it back. Okay, you know, like they don't give you the full story. It's all about victimhood. It's all about how things that they have been hard done by, how they are the victim in every single scenario. And it's like what I was saying earlier, like you're going to end up thinking, oh my God, like how much bad luck can someone have? And it almost feels unreal. Like it almost, like when you really think about it, you're just kind of like, this is so strange. Like how can someone literally have so much bad luck? Okay, so the signs to look out for if you are caught in this trauma dump trap. Here are the red flags to look out for. The first one is you feel emotionally responsible too early. Too much, too soon, too quick. They make you feel like you are basically their only hope. Like they put so much emotional burden on you and you think, oh my God, like it creates responsibility. And if you are codependent or a people pleaser, this is going to make you feel like you've got to save them. Their stories will always paint them as a victim. So they're always going to be the hard done by. It's so sad. Like all of this has happened to only them. You feel drained, confused, or guilty, or even responsible for them, for their happiness. So they put the weight of this emotion on you. Okay, so what do? If you yourself recognize this in a friendship, in a connection, in a romantic connection, a relationship, what are you going to do? Okay, so the first thing that I would say to you is you've got to recognize the pattern. You've got to recognize what actually is going on here. That you are being trauma baited. Meaning you are being called to feel a certain way, to get a certain perspective of this person. You are being shown literally a slither. Okay, you're not being shown the whole picture. You are being shown a minuscule part, okay, to make you feel a certain way. Awareness will break the spell. Also, don't justify these stories as, oh, they are a good person, but it's really sad what has happened to them. Don't do that. Look at what really is going on here. And if you've ever thought, like, why are they having so much bad luck? Like, why is this going on? Trust that feeling. Okay, trust that thought, because it's very important. You'll need to slow down the pace of this connection, of how much time you're spending with this person, how much they are sharing, how much you are sharing, what they are requiring from you. Because remember, if they're going to be sharing a lot of the stuff, they're going to be expecting you to share the stuff too. So this is where you need to set boundaries. Okay, this is your protection. This is your ultimate protection. If you are watching this video and you have thought like, oh my God, this person, you are going to need to set boundaries, because otherwise this person doesn't have any and they don't care about yours. So they're going to keep doing what they have always done because you've not said that there's something wrong in it. One thing that I really want you to remember, my friends, is you don't have to rescue people to feel loved, okay? That is not your job. You don't have to fix them. You also don't have to put up with this type of behavior, with what is actually happening. I know that maybe you love them, maybe you've got into that point where you love them or you really care about them. For those of you who are quite early on, honestly, like, do you really want to be with someone who is sharing so much, who this is really about control? You don't need to save anyone. You don't need to fix their problems. You don't need to make their life better, because to tell you something, they're not going to be doing that for you. Take a step back, all right? Literally take a step back. And if you're in a relationship with someone like that, that isn't love. What, oversharing, telling you exactly their deepest, darkest secrets, that isn't love. That's manipulation, because they want you to let your guard down. And then when you let your guard down, you're easy to manipulate, you're easier to control. And they're going to expect you to do the same thing, tell your deepest, darkest secrets. And you know, when that happens, that person has got control over you. So don't do that. You need to feel comfortable. You need to feel ready to want to share your story, your history with this person, because it's part of your identity. And if you're not ready to do that, then don't. There's no obligation. My friends, I really hope that this video has given you some clarity. If you are interested, I also do one-to-one consultations. Please see the description box below for more details. If you have experienced this, please do drop a comment, like if you want to share your experience. Only if you want to, my friends, only if you want to. Share your experience, because you don't know who it could help. And I know that in this community, everyone kind of benefits from the comments, and they really do. They really do, because it really helps a lot of people, because I do read them and I do respond. And if you're ready to heal from toxic patterns, do check out my mentorship. Again, all the details are in the description box below. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.